Good morning. I wanted to create another BSV video because the last two have been really well received. Lots of views, lots of comments, had some donations on the first one I did, which was the 10 BSV apps. Just mentioning what's out there in the ecosystem really, and seems a lot of people really want content out there about BSV to get some exposure, to talk about it, to show how cool it is. And I was racking my brains over the weekend of how I could show it in use as a day-to-day kind of tool. Because oftentimes you think of like cryptos and you think of Bitcoin, you think of Ethereum, think of all of these like well-known cryptos, and most people are just trading them. Either they're going up in the green or they're going down in the red. People are either making money or they're losing money. But there's way more benefit to cryptocurrency that I think a lot of time gets lost. I was going to say in the ether, but not literally, because you might take it as ETH. But I've been going through like different titles this weekend, and I decided on one that was growing in crypto, claim your stake, stake your claim. And I think I'm going to call this video claim your stake, stake your claim in BSV. Because I kind of wanted to do a walkthrough of the daily usages of BSV now for me, and how that could expand as I grow into this crypto. I hold a balance of BSV in a wallet, so I've always got access to it. I've also got some in another wallet, in a hardware wallet, that I'm just letting run for a period of time just to see if it goes up, etc, etc. So I've delimited the two things. There's one which is like I'm holding, and the other one I'm kind of playing with. So I kind of wanted to show you kind of a day-to-day usage of BSV and how I use it and how it benefits me, or how I feel like I'm taking my time back, my non-paid time from centralized platforms, and being incentivized by these decentralized platforms. So one of the things that I missed a lot doing was Instagram, and I kind of got rid of Instagram because it started to get really spammy, and just it's like a QVC shopping channel now. It's just full of crud, and it's owned by Facebook, so I mean it's on a road to nowhere, isn't it? So I was really happy when Relica World came along, because it's very fast. Even though the images right now are still stored on Amazon ASW, I hope they kind of change that and use SIA. I'd love to see like BSV and SIA get in bed together and like cross-chain some stuff, because they've got great storage and it works in the same way as the endpoints in Amazon S3. So maybe they can integrate that quite easily and make a nice little PR piece on Twitter about it. So I've been using it to post a bunch of old stuff called retrospective of things that I did in my past, in my OG early years of video blogging. And what I like about Relica more than anything is just this page, the notifications and income page. Not because I'm interested about the money, because if I was, then I'm not going to get super excited about earning $1.75. But I like the fact that it's broke down into likes, comments, favorites, and then there's an amount. This makes it a big difference for me as somebody who's tracking their time, who wants to optimize their time, get the most out of their time. I want to interact with people who are similar to that have a, they have a mark on their time, like they're keeping track of it. They want to get the most out of their time, I guess, instead of just, hoping for the best on some of these platforms like on TikTok or Instagram to get somewhere, and then the hope is that they make sure your account's secure and make sure they pay you. I think that should be flipped on its head. I think you should look after that stuff, because now we have the tools to be able to do it. So my first thing in the morning would probably be to go to Relica and have a look through some of the pictures. Peter posts a lot of cool pictures, and also Tommy does as well. And it's nice because it's not overblown right now. And I would love to see Relica splinter off into communities, so you can have sort of landscapes and portrait photography or technology or whatever, and just have Relica World / like tech, and just break it down into smaller communities. Obviously my partner's on here as well, putting posts out about her product that she built in the middle of a pandemic. So that's somewhere where I can earn a little tiny couple of cents or whatever a day, but I feel like I'm using my time sensibly there. Another thing is Twitch. I've started to use Twitch more than Twitter now, because I can actually post to Twitter from here. So you can see it says tweet this Twitch. You got to be careful how you say that, and after a few drinks, it's probably best not to say it. But I can put a tweet in here and I can send it to Twitter, so I'm benefiting in that. Yes, I'm spending some BSV to send a message, but then there's always the potential that somebody might react to it or like it or branch it, and when they do that, I get a little micro payment. And those little micro payments add up over time, and there's going to be more different ways to earn payments, and maybe not so micro. So I put stuff out on here. I also go through, see what people are talking about. I'm kind of keen to see if we're gonna like that. So this is gonna cost me 5 cents, but like it's a pretty badass gift, right, from Kurt. So I go through this in the daytime, just looking at stuff, and I'm always checking to see if there's anything new dropped into the market. I did end up with one of those eggs, one of 2066, and I didn't sell it. I held on to it, but I'm always waiting to see if NFTs are going to drop. Also, I can't wait for us to be able to trade items ourselves on here as well. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm kind of excited to be able to make some like GIFs or animations or just NFTs on here. Would be really cool because you get paid instantly, and the charges are so incredibly small on BSV. It's crazy. So then I would probably look through my Handcash and just see if I've had any payments and stuff. I had a few donations from people, from here. Somebody said thanks for talking about BSV, and I had a cool video down here. I actually don't know the source of where the video was for them to see it. Then I got another one here. Thanks for a great video, great BSV video. Like, the community has been amazing. Like, I've been part of maybe 2 or 3 different blockchain communities, but so far, and I'm not blowing smoke up BSV's ass, but they've been really, really friendly. Like, really supportive, and that's one thing that as a creator of anything, I hate using the term content creator, but it is, a piece of digital art in time, I guess. So it is a content, but I think content creators overuse these days. But somebody who just loves to make, stuff and stick it on the web. Then I would probably have a look at Relay X. Relay X is playing up a little bit for me today. This is actually my torrents, so we'll get rid of that. Then the other thing that I would probably do is if I have any clients, I've just finished a 6-week client consultancy, I would probably start to get some of my friends and family and clients using this stuff and send them like $5 to actually get them playing around in the BSV ecosystem. Something like Mito is very easy to use. Once you've got a Handcash account, which you need a mobile phone number and an email address, once you've got that set up and you've got the app set up, and then it's easy to do this because you just connect the Handcash account to it. So what that does is connect the API of Handcash, and it allows you to use your balance over on Handcash to send funds via an email. They receive an email and then they can add that to their balance on their account. I think the first time that somebody does that, it's the first time they actually receive some funds, and then they're able to use it, they're able to spend it and go through the transaction of spending it on Twitch or putting it on Relica and being like, oh, okay, so I'm paying for the transaction. I think that's when people have that like lightning moment of, oh, actually, maybe I should put my best work on there, or maybe I shouldn't just like be so throwaway about my interactions. Maybe I should be a bit more measured about it because you're paying, right? I think that changes a little bit when you send money to somebody, when you donate some money to somebody. They're happy to let $5 like go as a test, but I think that's enough to get people interested in it, so that they're like, oh, this is actually really fast, this is really useful, and there's no middleman, and like it literally is instant. Then if I had a bit of a balance, maybe I'd probably go and use something like TDXP. So I don't know if it's like a hybrid setup, how they've got this working, but it allows you to use BSV for trading. So if I click on start trading, we have to acknowledge all this. I have to do a login. I can use any of these 4 apps. Handcash I know about, Relay X I know about, Money Button. I've used all 3 of these, and I can say that they're all pretty solid. Dot Wallet, I think, is a Chinese wallet. I don't know much about it, but I've not touched it. I've not played with that. It looks kind of clean, but I still say that Handcash is probably the better one. out of all of them at the minute. Just a design preference for me, and the UI preference, UX preference. A lot of time been put into the way that Handcash looks. Very simple, and looks very similar to what centralized applications look like today. And so that's less of a bridge, less of a jump for somebody to come across. And then, so I might want to play around on here, start trading. Maybe if I bought stuff on here, then I maybe send them out. There's other things as well, centralized ones that I like Uphold for trading. But then also I might be thinking on a Monday morning like today, maybe I should put like an ad up or advertise something. So there's a site for that using BSV called Tonic Power. I mentioned a bunch of these in my 10 URLs video, but I kind of wanted to approach it from a perspective of somebody using BSV on a daily basis, not just stacking it, actually content creators using it to amplify what they're already doing. So if we go down here, you can see there's a whole bunch of featured campaigns that are already here. There's a big one here for CoinGeek conference. They've got like nearly $1,200 left in an account for promotion, and if I click on this I can earn 10 cents for it. Same with this one here. There's also the daily job hunt newsletter, a daily stoke for job seekers fresh in your inbox every morning. They've got a budget of 374 left. So if I click on this, you can see that this is going down. I think if I log in, I have to log in with an email address and stuff, but I'm not going to do that now. But if I was logged in, I could click on this and it would take me across to this URL, but it would deposit 0.10 cents into my wallet for actually going and having a look at that. So there's a bunch of cool things that you can play around with Handcash. Yeah, it's not much money, but it all adds up in time. But on the flip side of that coin, you can advertise as well. Maybe I want to spend a $200 budget promoting something, and giving the fact that it's on a blockchain and it's immutable, I'm more likely to trust something like this instead of like spending money on advertising for click-throughs rather than anything else. All right, so let's have a look at BrickView. So blockchain verified reviews where reviewers get paid. Every interaction with your review earns you money. So again, I might spend my early afternoon or lunchtime going to one of these places nearby, writing a review about it, taking a bunch of photos about it, and then somebody might leave me a donation or a transaction on my review, and maybe I can work with the place to go and do regular stuff for them. You never know if a job is going to come out the other side of it or not. So there's a lot of these things popping up. They're more likely to have more legitimate reviews on this than something like Yelp, where there's no anybody could spin up an email address, whereas that it's linked back to an actual BSV account. So that's kind of a new way of getting incentivized honest reviews from people. Then I might after lunch go and look at something like BayMail, which is something that I've only just discovered, but it's kind of an interesting concept. So if I say I've got a wallet, I can connect with Money Button or Relay X, and I'm not sure if I can get through to this right now because there's like Alright, so with BayMail, what you can do is you can actually compose a email and then you pay using BSV to do various features with it. So for instance, you can send to a certain address, encrypt it, but then also you can drop a file to attach to it. So it might be a movie file or a audio file, and you can add a price to that as well. So you can sell it if you like, and then you can put on the amount of BSV that you actually want to charge your recipient to actually decrypt it. So it might be a movie file for a client, and they will pay the invoice directly, say $50 or $100, and they pay it to unlock and decrypt the content that's attached to the email. So this is kind of like a little bit clunky right now. I don't necessarily know enough about it, or if it's trusted enough, or what happens to the email server and the people behind the project. But I will be looking a bit more into this, because I think little marketplaces like this that enable you to like not have to have an email server but be able to send content that you've worked on for a client, I think these are going to be incredibly useful. Another one similar to this is Daimly. So they have created a little directory of per minute, as far as I can see, per minute interactions, video calls with people. And it might be a consultancy, it might be something to do with like learning how to do crypto or woodwork or yoga or something like that. You can actually charge people using Daimly, charging BSV. The only problem is I've tried to use this with, I've tried to log into this many times, and for some reason it just doesn't work. It just keeps on going around the login. So if anybody knows who Daimly is, I really like the idea behind it. I think this could be fleshed out a little bit more. It's obviously designed for mobile, because of the way that it's just got this like single panel down the middle. But these little applications, these little web apps are popping up all over the place in BSV. And because it's so quick, the completion times are near on instant, you're going to get people utilizing these things because they can get in and get out very quickly. They don't have to wait a period of time for that transaction to be done. Another thing that I've got running in the background is a thing called Bitping. Now, these guys are based out of Singapore, as far as I know. And what they do is they've got a bunch of analysis tools, intelligence tools for connectivity, really. So intelligence for DDoS, hardened enterprise solutions. They've got a bunch of different products for measuring, monitoring, mitigating, stream testing. And one of the things that they do in the background, which I didn't realize at first, is that they've got the ability for you to host a node. So one of the options they've got for measuring and monitoring is that these nodes make up their monitoring network. So each node in the network, there's 315 nodes right now, you set a task like check this site to see if it's up, and then it sort of does a round robin setup. So it goes around all these different nodes, getting them to run a check from where they are in the world to just check the latency and the uptime, things like that. The cool thing is that you can get paid to do that. So I've got a little TradeBot app running up here, and you can see I've done 849 jobs, test perform 849. I've not been paid a single penny for it. So maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe it doesn't work, or maybe it's bugged out, or maybe you have to do so many tests before you actually get anything. But I do like the idea about edge nodes, people getting paid. I love this like control panel. I wish I had something neat like this on other projects that I'm like a node or a leader on. But I really like this interface. Right on side here you can see that I've got a node running in the UK, and it's running on the Mac, running on a Mac CLI command line interface. And then there's also like a current plan as well. You can actually top up using Money Button. So you can actually top up using BSV if you want to use Bitping to monitor your services. So imagine that you're creating income or a marketplace for yourself using all of these other applications. Maybe you're getting exposure from Relica, maybe you're telling people on Twitch, maybe you're sending little bits of value back and forth with Handcash, maybe you're onboarding people with Mito, maybe you're trading on that decentralized market, putting ads up or responding to ads. All of that adds up, and you can start to use that accrued value to actually do things in the real world, like monitoring your server's uptime and things like that. So it's kind of like I kind of see it as like a 360 ecosystem, right? So you're in it, you're earning bits of it, but then you're also keeping the value going around in that ecosystem. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but the value stays in there instead of like pulling it out, for instance, into fiat. So it's like the more value you add into these communities, the more the communities empower you to be a voice in that community, the more that flows around into other projects, because I'm going to utilize it and spend it in different things. Hopefully that was a useful video. It's a little bit all over the place this morning, but I kind of wanted to do it early this morning before I got into coffee about actually using BSV as a token, rather than just stacking it and waiting for the price to go up on it. Actually using the utility behind it. And what makes BSV kind of special over other ones is it's super fast and the fees are incredibly cheap. I had a similar reaction to when I first played with Dash and Litecoin for the first time, but I'm really loving the community, and I'm really loving all these little web apps that are popping up. If you are in the BSV community and you've got like web apps that I haven't seen yet that are coming out, or you've got like a beta, do send me a link. I would love to test it out, love to see what other things are happening out there. I could also use something like Streamity as well to upload videos similar to YouTube or Twitch, and I could charge maybe 5 minutes into the video for people to watch the rest of it. So if you're looking to put your content somewhere on the web, there's some amazing decentralized hosts for that. Odyssey's another one. Yeah, so that's it for me today. I just thought I'd put another video out from a perspective of, what was the title I put? Claim your stake and stake your claim in BSV.